afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Pocono Raceway as we get ready for the running of the HersheyPark 250. Going to be a 20-lap event here today. Race 19 of the Season 5 Mobil1 Cup Series. Today we got a good field of drivers here. Quite a few new faces as well. We'll be sure and document them in just a moment. Some drivers making their return to the Mobil1 Cup Series. Some drivers making their debut in the Mobil1 Cup Series. We'll be sure and let you know every one of them in mere moments. On the pole for today's race, Kyle Sosnowski looking for his 4th win of the season. That would make him the all-time most winningest driver in a single season, as he currently is tied for the record with James Silverfox, who set the precedent of 3 wins last season. Sosnowski comes in with 3 victories. He also comes into this race second in the points and the leader in the rookie standings. Quite a season so far for the driver of the number 34 Camaro. I don't really know if he's going to have an opportunity to be able to battle for the points lead today, as he is 28 points behind Guido Savotas, who has just continued to open up his margin over the rest of the field week after week. However, stranger things have happened. This is called the Tricky Triangle. Maybe Guido Savotas will make a slip-up today, and Sosnowski may be able to capitalize, but we'll keep an eye on that 9 of Guido Savotas during the course of the day, see what he'll be able to do to try and maintain his huge points lead. Alongside of Kyle Sosnowski is Chris Kyle. I think these two have actually started on the front row against each other before, because if I remember correctly, I seem to remember thinking to myself, hey, they both have the name Kyle in either their first or last name. So I think this is not the first time those two have seen each other side by side on the front row. But Chris Kyle, a former winner this season, ended up winning back at Dover. He's going to line up on the outside of the front row. Chris Kyle comes into this race 39th in points regardless of that victory. He actually is the lowest in points for a driver with a victory. He's really looking to try to get his season going here. Who knows? Right now, with 1 win under his belt, he may be looking for a second one to maybe clinch himself a wild card spot. Because remember, if you are outside of the top 10 in points and you are one of the first drivers with the most wins, regardless of where you are in points, you get a wild card spot and you're automatically in the chase. Speaking of chase, a guy who's now gotten himself back into possible chase contention, that is Jordan Davis. He'll roll off from the 3rd position. Davis has now moved himself back up to 5th in points after he's had a rocky few weeks. He's also 3rd in rookie points, and alongside of him, another driver who may be in championship contention, but he's been hitting a bit of a slump. He needs to get himself turned around again. That's the driver, the number 14, Felix Graves, currently comes into this race 13th in overall points. Alright, time to get these cars rolling off to complete a couple pace laps. While they do that, we'll show you the starting grid. 20-lap event getting ready to be run here today at Pocono Raceway. And in just a moment, when they cycle around, we will show you these new drivers that are going to be either making their debuts or their returns here to the Mobil1 Cup Series. So we've gotten the signal. We're going to go to green next time around. So let's show you those drivers I was talking about who are going to be either making their debuts or their returns here to the Mobil1 Cup Series. One of them is right here, Leah Walker. She's actually replacing Pichu London, our defending Mobil1 Cup Series champ. He only ran the 1 race last week at Texas, then decided he's going to concentrate over on the Snickers Cup Series. So Leah Walker going to be in that 15 for the rest of the season. Next driver is Jake Baskinger. It's been quite a while since he's been in the Mobil1 Cup Series. I believe the last ride he had in Mobil1 Cup Series was that number 71 when it was sponsored by Siemens. It was a Ford Mustang, and he's come back. He's in the number 25, is Baskinger. Moving further down, making her debut today, is Lily Erickson. I don't know if it's Lily or Lily. Hopefully you can correct me on that. She's going to be rolling off from the 9th position in her debut here, so good luck to her on that. And then also, as we scroll down here, Jacob Lawler, who almost won the Mobil Cup Series Championship back in Season 3. He's returned now, driving the 55. And then last but not least, as we're getting ready to go to green, Rohit Vidarva, who was actually a championship contender last season in the chase. He's back, driving the number 71. As the green flag has come out, Kyle Sosnowski, Chris Kyle will get us underway. So we've got 4 drivers making their return to the Mobil Cup Series. 1 driver making her debut as they're going to go 3 wide for the lead. Austin Ogo, Jordan Davis, Chris Kyle. Good hard racing here early on, but it's all going on behind that neon green Chevrolet of Kyle Sosnowski. Austin Ogo, though, may have thoughts about the lead. He's trying to get the run here into turn number 2. Can he get there? Look at how Chris Kyle was able to slingshot from high side down to low side. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa! Someone's spinning. Oh, there was a Votas around. Justin Williams is around. Cautioned out. I thought they were keeping it together, and all of a sudden they just all broke loose there in the back. John McNamara now looking to the inside of Chris Kyle here as they're going to drag race down to the stripe. It all going on, though, behind Kyle Sosnowski, who will lead us. Then it's Chris Kyle, John McNamara, James Qualls, and Austin Ogo. That's going to be the top 5 under the yellow. That's one of the 2 cars I saw get spun around, Justin Williams. The other one was the points leader, Wido Savotas. And there he is. It may have been just a 2-car spin on the Long Pond straightaway. I don't know. Nobody else really looks like they're at all damaged or anything like that. Oh, there is a little bit of damage right there to the right, or not the right side, the left side rather. The left side and the left rear of the National Guard GMAC Chevrolet of Jake Baskinger. So he must have got caught up in whatever it was. As they're going to settle everything out here into their running order under the yellow. Kyle Sosnowski is the leader under caution. They may make pit stops here. We'll have to see. But anyway, we're going to step aside for a moment, take a look at a replay of what put us under the yellow for the first time today here on lap number 1. Now, I'm not rightly sure if this starts with the 5 of Justin Williams or if it starts with the 9 of Wido Savotas. You can see them both here in this shot. And we'll try and see how this wreck gets triggered. Remember at the top of the pro... Oh, there it was right there. Jake Rogers, along with, I think that was Harui Tashimi and Jake Baskinger. They all got together in the wall. Justin Williams tried to avoid that. He gets loose, then he gets spun around off the nose of... Was that Lawler? No, it was Joseph Bryant. Then he gets spun down to James Silverfox and Wido Savotas. Silverfox nearly came up and spun Tashimi around again. So what it was, Justin Williams was just trying to avoid that incident. Oh, and then he's going to get a little shot there from Adam Chambers. So Chambers gets a piece of it. And whoa, look on that inside line. Zach Buchanan just be able to squeak his way around Joseph Bryant. But Justin Williams, the wreck actually started with Jake Rogers, Harui Tashimi, and Jake Baskinger. Williams was trying to avoid it, and him slowing down, it just got him spun around and into Wido Savotas and Joseph Bryant, Adam Chambers. A few drivers getting involved in this incident here. Nobody really sustaining that much damage, though. I'd be very surprised if anyone retired. So we're going to jump back to the green flag and see what's going to happen. We're ready to go back to green flag racing. Leah Walker, in her return to the Mobil1 Cup Series, her team gave her a really lightning fast pit stop. She got out of pit road first. Charles Jackson second, Chris Kyle third, John McNamara fourth, and Dylan Poteet. That is your new top 5. Let's jump further back. Kyle Sosnowski, rather slow pit stop when he came down as the leader. He'll restart in 6th. 7th is going to be Wolfgang Mason, James Qualls in 8th, Danny Wells 9th, and Nicole Williams will restart in 10th. Then it's Austin Ogo 11th, 12th James McLeod, Jeffrey Finguy in 13th. How about Lily Erickson? I believe that's how you pronounce it, is Lily Erickson. Currently in the 14th position here in her debut. Very nice run at this moment. Eric Burton 15th, Sean Henley 16th, Ralph Mason is 17th, 18th Felix Graves, 19th Riley Ogle, and Cole Daly completes the top 20. Then at Zohar Monda, 21st, 22nd, Mark Thomas, 23rd is James King, 24th, Jordan Davis, Jacob Lawler in 25th, Sean Galligan, 26th, 27th, Tryphon Reed, Barney Ward, 28th, 29th is Rohit Aravu with Richard Johnson, 30th. Then you got Silver Fox, Drew Austin, Dylan Young, Luke Martin, and Adam Chambers. That's the top 35. Top 40 are Zach Buchanan, Wido Savotas, the points leader, Jake Rogers, Joseph Bryan, Jake Baskinger, and then the rest of the field are Haru Tashimi and Justin Williams. Nobody has DNF'd yet. Green flag's back out on lap number 6. Hopefully we can go under a little bit of a green flag run with them restarting single file, but we'll have to see just how hairy things get here coming down to the first corner. Charles Jackson going to go down to the bottom, looking for the top spot. Charles Jackson won at Atlanta. He's a former winner of the season. And here comes John McNamara. He's going to go 3 wide, and man, did he get a whale of a run through turn number 2. Here he comes. Dylan Poteet now gets himself into the mix there. Oh, don't squeeze, don't squeeze, don't squeeze! Oh, they saved that! Oh, my goodness. Oh, but there goes Riley Ogle around. Oh, no. Riley Ogle spins it after Jackson and Leia Walker were able to hang on to their possible potential wreck, but looks like it's going to be top 2 coming down to the start-finish line here. McNamara's going to lead us under the yellow. Poteet will be second. Charles Jackson, after hanging on, he's going to be third. Fourth is going to be Chris Kyle, and Danny Wells is going to be fifth. Oh, man. Oh, whoa. Haru Tashimi, Jake Baskinger. Hard into the wall for both those drivers. There's Wido Savotas, and there's Riley Ogle. More cars on pit road. Jake Rogers and Barney Ward. So maybe this wreck was a lot worse than we expected. Gonna have to find out what happened. John McNamara currently out in front, still looking for his first win of his career. And he made a power move there in turn number 1. He's got himself, obviously, a very strong race car. He may be able to get it done today. So we're going to take a look back at a replay. Put us under the yellow. This time, much, much bigger wreck. Now here's a look at it. Back there in the midst of all this chaos is Riley Ogle, and right there's the contact between him and I believe that was Felix Graves in the 14. Ogle just kind of squeezed Graves into the wall right there. There was some contact as well. I believe it was Jordan Davis in the 28. May have made some contact with the 77. It was either him or Mark Thomas. I couldn't tell which one. And then everybody's just trying to avoid. And oh, wow, nice miss there by James King on the high side. It's a wonder that he didn't go up into Drew Austin. Barney Ward going to get a piece of it right there, as he has nowhere to go. Silver Fox has nowhere to go. They're just caught in that middle groove. Oh, Galligan, he just got clipped a little bit by the rear of the 77. That sent him straight up into the outside retaining wall. So Galligan nearly got himself through there. There's Wido Savotas. Second incident he's been involved today. Second straight caution he's had a part in, and he's around. And then we got to see further up here. Something went on. Oh, here it was right here. Jake Rogers. I think he and Zach Buchanan end up getting into each other or something. Yeah, this is when these guys are trying to avoid the wreck. Right there, Rogers kind of runs right into the back of Buchanan. I don't know if Buchanan right there wasn't too pleased about that. He comes down into the 19. Also hits driver's side into the steel guardrail, but then Rogers' car goes into a spin, and he just can't control it. What a miss by Justin Williams, but then he gets nailed by Barney Ward. The car's going to go airborne, barrel rolling through the air, and I don't think it's over. I think we had that incident there with Jake Baskinger and Haru Tashimi. I think the two of them going to get involved in this somehow. There it is. Wow. Oh, man, then we just end up having the teleportation of Jake Rogers' machine. We didn't even get to see what happened there. Let's rewind it a little bit here. Yeah, we saw Baskinger's hit, and then Haru Tashimi's going to hit Barney Ward, but Baskinger, if just a split second later the Rogers machine had disappeared, probably Baskinger wouldn't have been involved. And look at that. Baskinger nailing the 19 while the 19 was upside down. Tashimi plowing into the back of Barney Ward. Lots of debris littered through that turn. And that's a tough break for quite a few drivers there, including Jake Baskinger, who was making his return to the Mobil1 Cup Series. And how about Barney Ward? 6th in the points, caught up in this one. Pocono Raceway certainly proving to be what it's known for as the tricky triangle for quite a few drivers here early on today in the HersheyPark 250. We'll get ready to go back to green flag racing here on lap 11 of 20. We have passed the halfway point. We've worked 2 cautions already, and we do have some drivers back behind the wall. They are the drivers basically saw get involved in that big pile up in the second corner. Barney Ward, Haru Tashimi, Jake Baskinger, and Jake Rogers. So this is certainly going to not fare out well for the driver of the 41, Barney Ward. He came into this race 6th in the point standings. Certainly not the kind of run he was looking to have to try and keep himself inside the top 10 in points. John McNamara, the rookie, out in front. Dylan Poteet up in second. Charles Jackson third. Chris Kyle fourth. Danny Wells completes the top 5. Then it's Kyle Sosnowski in fifth. Or 6th, rather. I'm sorry. 7th is Leah Walker. 8th is Austin Ogo. 9th, Jeffrey Finguy. And Wolfgang Mason completes the top 10. Ralph Mason right behind him in 11th. We're seeing the Masons coming up here together again. We've seen this more than once this season. Sean Henley 12th. 13th, James Qualls. 14th, Eric Burton. 15th is Nicole Williams. 16th, Cole Daly. 17th, Mark Thomas. 18th is Lily Erickson. 19th is James McLeod. And the top 20 is going to be completed by 3rd in points, Tryphon Reed. So he's at least up there inside the top 20. How about the points leader coming into today's race? Where is he running? We already know Kyle Sosnowski's run up inside the top 10. 35th place is where Waidos Votas is running. In order for Kyle Sosnowski to currently be the points leader, he would have to be running 7th or better. Where's Sosnowski going to restart? 6th place. So right now, by 1 point, according to our live standings, Kyle Sosnowski is the new Mobil1 Cup Series points leader, but this race ain't over yet. Here comes Dylan Poteet looking down to the bottom. He is desperately trying to get back to victory lane. Here in the Mobil1 Cup Series, Snickers Cup Series, it doesn't matter. He wants to win again, and he wants to win today at Pocono, it looks like. Look at Danny Wells. Nice run he got on the inside line. He's underneath Charles Jackson for 3rd. He may get more, though, as they're starting to go 3 wide there, possibly with John McNamara. Dylan Poteet, though, he's going to go to the lead. McNamara now going to be battling for 2nd with Danny Wells and Kyle Sosnowski. They bounce off the wall, and James Qualls spins around in front of the field. Oh, man, he just got nailed hard by somebody as his car nearly went airborne. And Danny Wells is slipped by Dylan Poteet for the top spot. Coming off the final corner, Danny Wells is now going to be the new leader under yellow. Sosnowski will be 2nd. 3rd place, I believe, was Chris Kyle. Then it was a drag race for 4th between Dylan Poteet and Austin Ogo. I believe that Dylan Poteet got 4th place from Austin Ogo. I may be incorrect in that. Yeah, I was correct. Yep, Poteet did get Austin Ogo at the line. And Waidos Votas, he's 3 for 3 in getting involved in cautions. Not coming down pit road this time, but more damage on the points leader's ride. He is just not having a good day at Pocono. James Qualls, Dylan Young, Jordan Davis may have been the car I saw nail James Qualls. All 3 of them are still on pit road now. Adam Chambers, he is slowed. He may have been involved in this as well. But that's the big story of the day. 3 wrecks, and all 3 of them have involved the points leader, Waidos Votas. We'll see what happened in this most latest one as Danny Wells is the current leader under the yellow. I've just been told a few other drivers were involved and have already gone back behind the wall, including Felix Graves, Luke Walker, and rookie James King. So this was quite an incident that took place out of turn number 2. Watch right here. James Qualls is going to get some contact there. I believe that was with possibly Sean Henley. Might have been Mark Thomas, though. There's the contact there. I think that was Lily Erickson got a piece of it. Cole Daly going to get involved there in the 2. And then this is where everything just goes crazy. Dylan Young plasters the 70. Goes down right in front of Luke Martin, who had nowhere to go. And then watch James King, Felix Graves try to avoid. There's where Felix Graves gets his piece of the incident. There may have been something further up, too. I don't know. Or is James King already erupting in smoke? James King's already erupting in smoke, but I don't know if he got a piece of that or not. And then there's Jordan Davis. Let's look further up here. Oh, Waidos Votas just runs straight into the back of Felix Graves. Look at the smoke just pouring out here in this corner. Oh, look at Justin Williams, Sean Galligan. They were down on the grass area sliding up to the corner. And then, wow, Zach Buchanan, James King nearly getting into it there. But I gotta see, did James King actually get a piece of that, or did he just erupt in phantom smoke? We're going to go on board here, slow motion with the 3. he all of a sudden started erupting in black smoke, but I didn't see him get a piece of the James Qualls machine. Let's find out here. Right there. Oh, yep, he did. Yep, with the right wheel well. He just sliced the rear bumper of the 70, and that's what caused that incident there as far as the black smoke. So, yes, James King was indeed involved. For a moment there, I thought I had found an NR 2003 glitch, but nope, not the case. And we got quite a few contenders involved in this one, and some big names, too, who actually came inside the top 10, top 20 in points. One of them is, of course, the driver of that number 14, Felix Graves. I was talking about him, 13th in points. Another guy who used to be inside the top 10 in points, Luke Martin, involved. And James King, obviously a tough break for that rookie, too, as he came into this race 24th in the standings. So we got ourselves quite a few drivers involved, including Jordan Davis, 5th in points, too. I forgot to mention him. So we're going to head back to Green Flag Racing. We'll go back to Green Flag Racing with 5 laps remaining here today in the HersheyPark 250. Danny Wells, one of many drivers who has taken his turn out in front. We're going to get the green flag on lap 16. Drivers out after this incident, there are quite a few. Some really big names as well. Take a look at some of them. Points leader, Waidos Avotas. Adam Chambers, who came into this race 19th in standings. Felix Graves, who came in 13th in points. James King, James Qualls. Jordan Davis is out. He came in 5th in the points. Also, Dylan Young is out of the race. Then we got Luke Martin, as mentioned. He came into this race 18th in points, and they joined Barney Ward, Harui Tashimi, Jake Baskinger, and Jake Rogers back behind the wall. Now, we got to find out here real quickly. Waidos Avotas is going to finish the day in 31st place, I believe, or has he continued? Nope, I believe Waidos Avotas is out. Let me just confirm that. Yep, he is out of the race. So he finishes in 31st place. In order for Kyle Sosnowski to be the new points leader of the Mobil1 Cup Series standings, he's going to have to finish this race in 3rd or better. Right now, he is in 2nd position, so Kyle Sosnowski has himself in a perfect position to become the new points leader in the standings. See if he can do it. He's right there behind Danny Wells, looking for his 4th win of the season. Danny Wells still looking for his 1st in the Mobil1 Cup Series here in Season 5. Then lining up behind them, you got Chris Kyle, still looming large in this as well. Both drivers who started in the front row have done a good job keeping themselves up front. 3rd place is Chris Kyle. Then Dylan Poteet is now up to the 4th position. Austin Ogo 5th. His teammates right behind him in 6th and 7th. That's John McNamara and Jeffrey Finguy. How about Joe Gibbs Racing today? All 3 of their cars in the top 10 on this restart. Charles Jackson 8th. 9th is going to be Ralph Mason. And Eric Burton will complete the top 10 as we go back to Green Flag Racing here on lap 16 of 20. 5 laps to go. We're going to have to see if they can keep it green for the final few laps of this event. The field has dwindled down some since we took the green flag to start this race. They're single file. Hopefully they can keep out of trouble for 5 laps. We'll see if they can, as Danny Wells going to get away here. Battle is on for 2nd. Chris Kyle to the inside of Kyle Sosnowski. Remember, Kyle Sosnowski has to be running 3rd or better to be the points leader, and he's about to lose that 3rd position possibly to Dylan Poteet. Then there comes the Joe Gibbs Racing barrage. Finguy, Ogo, and John McNamara. One of those drivers can go to victory lane for the first time this season. And there goes Poteet! Poteet just got spun around! Riley Vidal spins in the middle of the pack! This race could be over! We could have a 1-lap shootout, I don't know. But Danny Wells, he's out in front by about 4-5 car lengths off of turn number 3, the final corner. He'll lead us under yet another yellow flag, I think. No, we're still green. Are we still green? Are you kidding me? No, we're not still green. Okay. I thought we were still green. I was starting to get excited there. But Dylan Poteet, again in the closing stages of a race, is denied a chance at the victory. He got turned around by somebody. I think it could have been Jeffrey Finguy in the 11. Don't know for complete certain, but Rohit Vidarvo too, in his return, he was spun around in the middle of the pack. And Drew Austin was involved there. There is Poteet. Mark Thomas in the 66 is in it. There's Vidarvo's machine. That's a tough break for that driver, Mark Thomas, who's actually moved himself up to 14th in points. He's had a great run so far, and man, that's just a tough break right there for him. There is Poteet. I think he went down, maybe got the steel guardrail on the inside of this racetrack. And there's Drew Austin. It's just been a dismal season for that rookie. Danny Wells leads us under the yellow. At this point, we have a total of 7 laps to go. We're going to have to see if we can possibly get back to green for maybe a 1-lap shootout. If not, we'll come back for the possible checkers, but I think we will be able to possibly get back to green at least one more time. We're going to, though, look back at what put us under the yellow for what could potentially be the final time today. Here it was. This was coming off of turn number 2 and heading onto the Long Pond straightaway, and it's going to be some contact between Kyle Sosnowski and Dylan Poteet there. And Finn Guy is just an innocent bystander. I mean, it wasn't as if he wanted to turn Dylan Poteet. He just was there, and the 22 goes off his nose, and fortunately those roof flaps engaged there, causing the 22 to remain on the ground. He backs it into the steel guardrail. But then this incident back here takes place with Rohit Vidarvu, Mark Thomas, and Drew Austin. And watch here, who would have thought it, but watch Drew Austin. I think he actually slid down into Dylan Poteet. Let's try and find out how that wreck actually was triggered first. Yeah, right there. Oh, wow. There were a lot of cars that got really loose off this corner, but I think it was Mark Thomas and Rohit Vidarvu right there. Yep, Vidarvu goes up, kind of squeezed Mark Thomas into the outside retaining wall. Then there's going to come the contact between himself, Mark Thomas, and then nowhere to go for the rest of these guys. So they try diving themselves down to the bottom. Whoa, Vidarvu nearly got airborne after more contact from Mark Thomas, and Thomas then comes down and just kind of sideswiped the 44 of Drew Austin. And watch Drew Austin slide down here. And who would have thought 2 incidents right there would come to a meeting? And wow, that must have been a pretty violent hit there for Drew Austin. That caused his car to immediately erupt into smoke. There's Mark Thomas just to the left of them. So Dylan Poteet, he got involved in his own little incident, but then he got caught up in this 3-car pileup with Vidarvu, Mark Thomas, and Drew Austin as well. That's just a tough break for Poteet. Tough break for Mark Thomas, too. And Rohit Vidarvu, a former chaser in the Mobil1 Cup Series, getting involved here. He's a former winner in the Mobil1 Cup Series as well. I believe he won last year at Bristol. So that's just a tough break for those 4 drivers. We're under the caution once again. Let's go back, see if we're going to get to green flag racing to finish off today's event. Well, when they came down here with 2 to go, I thought I saw the lights go out atop the pace car, and I thought we were going to get back to green for a 1-lap shootout. Unfortunately, that will not be the case, though. White flag currently displayed over the hood of the Monster Energy Toyota of Danny Wells. Lights still on atop the pace car, which means Danny Wells has gotten it done today. He was able to hang on there on that last restart, and he will capture his first win of the season in the Mobil1 Cup Series. Certainly a big momentum boost, I believe, as well for Danny Wells and that 54 team, as they've not had the best of seasons so far. 37th in points. I believe at the beginning of the season they were one of 3 drivers who had DNF'd in the first 5 races. So Danny Wells, this is a great victory for him today. It's going to give him some good momentum heading into the Snickers Cup Series event here too, where he's actually battling for the points lead and a potential chase spot in that series. Chris Kyle's going to finish off the day in second. A nice finish for him. Another driver who was running really dismally in points. 39th in points. As a matter of fact, look at the drivers that are going to finish 1, 2, 3. Danny Wells, who is 37th in points. Chris Kyle, who is 39th in points. And John McNamara, that rookie, actually the highest finishing rookie of the day, comes into this race 40th in points and dead last in rookie standings. A great top 3 finish for him and that number 20 team. Kyle Sosnowski going to finish a solid top 5, but regardless of the DNF by Waido Savotas, Sosnowski finishes 1 spot lower than he was supposed to. In order to be the points leader, I believe Waido Savotas is going to keep the points lead by 1 teeny weeny measly little point over Kyle Sosnowski heading into next week at Richmond. Who would have thought it? But as soon as Waido Savotas opened up that huge points lead on everybody, it's been cut down just like that. Eric Burton, a nice run for him here today, a 2-time winner, 12th in points. He'll get a top 5. Charles Jackson, very nice run for him in 6th after he tried using some pit strategy. He'll get 6th. 7th, Austin Ogo. 8th's going to be Tryphon Reed. How about Ralph Mason in 9th? And Jeffrey Finguy, even though that incident with Dylan Poteet dropped him back, he's still going to finish in 10th. As crossing the line, winning the HersheyPark's 250 is going to be Danny Wells and the number 54 team. A great victory for Danny Wells. His first of the season in the Mobil1 Cup Series. We gave you the top 10 rundown, so I don't think we really have to do that now with the leaderboard. So we're going to now leave you guys as this race is now complete. Danny Wells has won the HersheyPark 250 here at Pocono Raceway. Hope you guys enjoyed today's race. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become a part of the crew today. Here comes your official Fisher results, your overall point standings, as well as your rookie points. Wireless Votas by 1 point is going to hang on to the points lead heading next week. Next week we head to Richmond, but we got a Snickers Cup Series event coming up here right after this. You've been watching a production of the NNSCRA, offline racing at its best.